Salut everyone! In this video, we'll be talking about lossless scaling on Linux. Yes, you heard it. On Linux. I don't even know how many members of my channel have been asking me for this to work on Linux, and always my answer was like, oh, it's not possible, it's not possible. Well, since less than a week, it is. It's still experimental, but it's really promising. Are you ready? Let's get into it. As always, we're going to start with a little bit of context. And at this stage, if you never heard about lossless scaling on Windows for gamers, you are living under a rock. And I have to be honest, like I've heard about it and I was not really interested into it. And because it has been ported to Linux, I kind of like had to cover it. I tested it and now I'm totally sold. And I'm going to explain you why. But I just wanted to share that with you because I'm not a big like frame generation guy. I just want to put this out there. I like when I have a lot of FPS, my input lag is like really minimal. But there, I have to say I'm sold. Okay, so don't take my hype like too far. But I'm telling you, I'm sold. This is actually awesome. So if you are new to the game and you have no idea what I'm talking about, lossless scaling is an application, a paid application you run on top of your game to have an upscaler and also like a frame generation mode, even if it's not supported by the game and even if it's not supported by your hardware. I know a lot of you guys with semi-recent hardware has been put on the side from the, DLSS frame gen, multiple frame gen, etc. And you are in this position where you have your hardware, which is still decent, but you can't have those new features. Well, this application is here to solve this problem. It's not perfect, we'll get into it, but it's hardware agnostic and game agnostic. So if the game does not support it, you had that on top of the game, it's going to support it now. So it's not giving you like the branded frame generation, so to say, right? But it's still going to give you one. And it's going to be your call to figure out if it's worth it or not. Personally, I'm going to show you some example also in the video. I believe in certain case scenario, it's really worth the buy. Of course, if you want to learn more about that, there is a lot of like Windows content creator out there who cover the application itself, but like really, this is the port of this on Linux. And I'm gonna explain everything in detail. So the Linux project itself has less than a week. And this project really focus on just the frame generation, not the upscaler. So you won't be able to upscale. It's really related to the frame generation. This is really important. Features are coming in. Like since I tested it, so I tested it on Friday, we are Sunday right now. I did the first shoot of this video, the one you're gonna watch right now, yesterday. And in between, some features have been added to the project. It looked like the dev is really like pushing really hard. So take with a little bit of grain of salt what I'm saying now, because while you're gonna be watching this video, there is a high chance that the dev is gonna add more and more feature. So yes, right now it's just frame generation. That's it, that's all. The port on Linux is also hardware agnostic and game or application agnostic. And I will add on top of that it is also Linux distro agnostic because you have to build it yourself. Right now, like if you look at their wiki, it's really focusing on Arch, but it shouldn't be really hard to build it on your own, on your favorite distro. And I'm pretty sure like most of the distro maintainers are gonna look at it, depending on the base, whether it's Debian or Fedora. I really think like the team of Pika or Nobara is gonna push this project in because all the gamers are really looking after it. Now, really important point when I continue to explain what this Linux version is all about, you still need to buy lossless scaling on Steam, like the application, the Windows application, to make it run on Linux. This is not a full translation, totally free and open source approach of what is actually running on Windows. It is definitively a port of what is actually existing to Linux. So I wouldn't say a wrapper because there is way more work there, but you need the original application to be bought and installed on your Linux machine. And the second important point, in my opinion, is like, even if it's on Steam, that you're gonna buy the application on Steam, you will be able to use lossless scaling on other applications than the one within Steam. I know it's a little bit complicated, but I'm pretty sure some of you guys are gonna be like, what, I won't be able to play my game outside of Steam? Yeah, yes, you can. You can play any type of application. You could, for example, do a lossless scaling of your video player to turn on your movie in 24 FPS, in 60 FPS, for example, or 270 FPS. I don't know what you guys want to do with this. Or even with the emulator, there is no limitation regarding like the overall like usage of this. Because it's integrated in an environment variable, you can push it to any type of application. And now the third point, I already mentioned it, but I'm gonna have to mention it again. It's important to understand like this is a work in progress. As I speak, the GitHub project is less than a week old. I think it's like 6 days or 5 days. There is still like, you know, experimentation going on, a lot of rebuild. From my experience, it was pretty like sweet, but you will see there is some specific case where it doesn't work really as expected. So you're gonna have to give some time for the project itself to mature. When you come to like real issues, the one I encounter, like the first one would be like frame pacing. It wouldn't be really smooth. It would be a little bit patchy. There is also some issue related with game scope integration. It's not there at 100%. You can still make it work in game scope. If the Valve team want to work with the dev of this specific project, she's actually called Pancake, they might have a better integration within GameScope. There is also some specific projects which are like popping out everywhere. I'm thinking about this Decky plugin for the Steam Deck, which is being worked on as I speak, for having a better and smoother integration within the Steam Deck. So it's gonna be like pushed soon. From my testing 2 days ago on Steam Deck, it was a little bit chaotic because the performance itself in the Steam Deck was not strong enough to really like take advantage of this lossless scaling application. But I believe in the future it's gonna be there. It just needs to be a little bit like improved. The last one we need to talk about is the fact that this Linux port does not include the dual GPU support. So on Windows, what you could do is run your game on one GPU and have the second GPU do all the frame generation. And because of that, you can actually get a better experience with less input lag. And we'll talk about input lag after in the video, because this is mainly like the big drawback when you use this type of frame generation application. So now the question at $1 million. Why would you use this type of application for gaming? Well, there is, I would say, like 3 big case scenario in my opinion. Maybe I miss one, and please like put it in the comment below, like if I forget one, because I'm totally new to that. I want to be honest with you guys. I'm a little bit bluffed by it, but I'm totally new with this specific technology. The first one, I would say, is related to the game engine. So let's take a game like Elden Ring. Elden Ring, by default, run at 60 FPS locked. And nowadays, we all have like really high refresh rate type of monitor. And it's kind of frustrating knowing that you have so much potential in terms of smoothness on your screen, and you're just running the game at 60 FPS. So for example, in my case, I have a 270 Hz monitor, and running it at 60 FPS within it is just disgusting. I have a lot of like ghosting, blurring. It doesn't look good. Well, here, by using this application on top of it, you're gonna be able to unlock like the engine limitation. So I'm thinking about Elden Ring, but you have to think about all the other one, like all the emulator, which are locked at 60 FPS. Well, you could literally unlock everything. So the engine itself will still be locked, but the application will add frame on top of it. So in terms of like anti-cheat, on paper, you should be safe. Please don't take my word for it, but I read a lot of like comment and exchange and feedback, and it looked like you should be safe. A lot of people, for example, are using this mod in Elden Ring, and they have not been banned, right? Because whatever is happening is on top of the application, and it shouldn't be like detected by the anti-cheat. Now, the second case scenario, in my opinion, is when you are GPU limited. So here in my case, even if I have a 4090, if I want to run my game at 270 frames per second on my screen to actually reach the refresh rate with all the options in Cyberpunk 77, it's almost impossible. I have to, at certain point, engage with frame generation. The thing is, with my 4090, I just have access to the 2-time multiple frame generation, which means that if my base is, for example, like 60 FPS, the maximum like frame I could get is 120 FPS, not more. The latest generation, the 5090 generation, has what they call like multiplicative frame generation. And here, instead of being limited at by 2, I can do by 3 or by 4, which means like every frame, instead of just adding 1 frame, now I can add 2, 3, or 4. And this is really big, but my hardware is not compatible with this feature with NVIDIA. Well, guess what? With this application, no problemo. And I'm going to show you as an example before, because we're going to get into the example. It's working. It's working. And the third point is related to energy saving. So let's say you have like me, a 4090, and this card can pull up to 600 watts to reach the 270 Hz refresh rate. I need to push 270 FPS every second to reach the refresh rate and have a really smooth experience there. Well, with this little application, I could use, for example, like the frame generation by 3 and only have to generate 90 FPS. So you understand the point here, right? I will still get my 270 FPS on my screen, but my GPU would have to process only 90 FPS. So you will see, I'm going to give some example, and you will be able to judge by yourself what are the output in terms of like visual quality and everything. But yes, from my perspective, it was pretty mind-blowing. You will make your own judgment. So now I'm going to show you real quick how to install it. It's super easy. What you need to do, you need to go on the Pancake GitHub and go look for the lsfg-vk. And you're going to have to run this script here if you're on Arch. Okay, if you're on Arch, it's pretty easy. If you want to go deeper, what you can do, you could go on the wiki here. And the wiki, you have a full install guide here. Again, you don't need a PhD in computering to make it work. You just follow the instruction. Make sure you have installed Lossless Scaling on Steam. Make sure it's installed on the right hard drive. It needs to be installed in the default installation of Steam. Super important. There is an option to set it up if you are using a different like location for the original like application, Lossless Scaling. But really, like, you have nothing to do. You install the required package to build it. You git clone the repo. You go in the folder. You make the application, build it, install it, and you should be good to go. Now, if you are on Arch or CachyOS, you just open a terminal like that, and what you do, well, I'm going to show you live. You do a paru lossless scaling, and boom, you're going to have the choice in between the AUR or even CachyOS. They already like package it for you like that. You don't have to compile it. I personally went with the AUR because I noticed there is a lot of update. and sometimes like CacheOS does not follow like the Git itself. So for testing purpose, I choose the Git. You just install it. It's gonna take you less than a minute to compile. Like it's not like you're compiling a kernel, it's super fast. If you want to make sure everything works, you go on their wiki here, you have the opportunity to check with vkcube here. So I'm gonna show it to you guys. If I run vkcube by itself, the cube is running really, really fast, right? So now I'm gonna open a new terminal here, and I'm gonna type the command which enabled the lossless scaling frame generator. So you have a first variable here which say like, let's enable it, and then you choose a multiplayer. So here it will be 4. So we're gonna copy and paste that. We're gonna push it there. And you will see that the cube is running way slower than the other one. So left side, you have the original one, and right side, you are the one with FrameGen. So if it works, it should be slower and shouldn't have any type of error here in the terminal. So I'm going to close them. But it's really as simple as that. Like there is nothing complicated. It's pretty straightforward. Also, I don't want to go through all the detail because I'm pretty sure this tutorial is going to change while you watch this video. But long story short, go on the wiki, build it. It takes less than 2 minutes and boom, game over. All right, so now let's jump into the concrete example. So the first one I want to share with you is the game called Shredders. This game is an absolute banger. So here we're going to go into the property. And you will see that I have nothing really enabled here. I have Mongo HUD, and you will see why I use this one, and there is nothing, just Mongo HUD. In terms of compatibility, I use ProtonGE for this test. You can use whatever you want. I like ProtonGE, it's fine. We're gonna launch the game, and you're gonna see how my GPU actually behave in game. So the way I set this up, it's pretty straightforward. On the top left, you have the FPS showed by Steam, the Steam overlay. And on the right, you have the FPS showed by Mongo HUD. And it's gonna be really important because what I notice is like the Steam overlay is showing the actual number of FPS being pushed on screen, and Mongo HUD is pushing the actual FPS generated by the GPU. And you will see it's going to be really important when I start to go into like frame generation. So here I'm running the game. Let me show you the settings. Everything to the max. So I'm at 1440p, 270 Hz, no VSync, and everything is to the max. Everything's maxed out. Top of the mountain, I'm running at 172 FPS, and my GPU is getting destroyed with 389 watts and 65 degrees. And I'm telling you, when I'm gonna start moving, you will see like the wattage is gonna go way higher than that. Okay. I think it's gonna be pulling like 450 watts easily. So here, like the game is reactive. I'm playing with my gamepad here. It's an 8-bit DAW. And yes, you can see like it's fun. Everything is working. So yeah, I'm doing some crazy stuff. But yeah, we are at 415 watts, 400 watts. So now you get the idea. Right now, by gaming with my 4090 and my 9800X3D on this machine, I can't reach the maximum FPS for my refresh rate. I would love to get something like 270 FPS, right? But I just can't, because the game at these settings is just so like hungry that I just can't get it, right? So yeah, 180 maximum. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna add the command for lossless scaling, and you will see it's pretty easy. I'm gonna go here, property, launch, and for the launch, I'm gonna go enable LSFG, yes, equal 1. And here I'm gonna do the multiplier. So the multiplier, I'm gonna go directly with 3, because I did some tests earlier. And what I noticed is like with 3, it's perfect when it comes to input lag, because I'm running at 270 Hz. So if we do a multiplier by 3, it means that my base frame rate should be 90. And a 90 FPS, it's fine. There is not a lot of input lag at all. versus like 180 as before. All right, so we are at the top of the mountain now. And as you can see, on the left, I have my actual like FPS getting pushed toward my monitor, 270. So now I maximize totally like the refresh rate on my screen, but you can see my GPU is just running at 90 FPS on the right? So it's working. And now I'm gonna show you like the difference in terms of like visual perception and everything. So obviously I can't show you the input lag. There is a little bit of like increase of input lag, but it's not, I would say, like detrimental for the game. You can still play it like perfectly. It's not an issue at all. And yeah, now if you look at the consumption right now, my GPU is just sleeping in between coma at what, like 270, 300, allez, maximum 330. So I gain 100 watts, right? And I almost double my FPS on my screen. So for me right now, it's a win, right? So wait, I'm gonna try to land something crazy here, just for the sake of it. Whoa! Yes, I landed it. Nice. But you get the idea, right? Oh, I won't land this one. So right off the bat, we're in a situation where I saved around like 100 watts, 70 watts, and gained some FPS. And my experience in game is, well, exactly the same. Right? Now the second game I want to show you guys is Elden Ring. So Elden Ring by definition is locked at 60 FPS. So here I'm going to apply exactly the same command. I don't need to show you before and after. And you will see that we won't be locked at all at 60 FPS. And this is great. Okay, so we are in the menu. So obviously on paper it's locked at 60. The game itself will still be locked at 60, but the number of FPS getting pushed on your screen is going to be 3 times more. Yeah, and here we are. So now I'm actually running the game at 60 FPS, but in reality, like I have 180 FPS getting pushed on my screen. So you understand like the whole value added here, right? I have the input lag of a game running at 60 FPS, but on my screen, I have 180. So we can push it even further. Right now, like for me, 180 is fine. I wouldn't try to push it further, but you get the whole concept here. And look at the actual like graph. It's super flat. My 4090 is at 48 degrees sleeping right now and still pushing 180 FPS with everything to the max in the game. Like this is 1440p like to the max. Easy dub. Now another game I want to share with you is CYBERPUNK. So I'm gonna go in it and we're gonna launch it with all all maxed out. Okay, again multiplayer by 3, and we're gonna see how it goes. So let's go to the settings, make sure we are aligned in terms of like settings. So here I'm using DLSS super resolution. I think I can go to quality, no problem. Even if it's super good. I have frame generation off and ray tracing on and path tracing on. So I have everything to the max, except I'm using DLSS quality with the transformer model. Now I'm gonna go and launch the game, and yeah, you will see what type of performance we're gonna get. So here we go. We are running at 63 FPS, so that will be my base FPS, right? Running the game in path tracing with everything to the max. So if I was running the game with just like frame gen, including in the game, I will multiply that by 2 maximum, right? So I will run at 110 FPS. But now, because I'm running with this, my frame rate is on the top left, is around like 170. And yeah, is it perfect in terms of input lag? I think this is where it starts to show up a little bit that you know, 50 FPS, in my opinion, it's not the best. So when I turn, you see the car is like moving all over the place. It's not super smooth, okay? So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go in the option. And I'm gonna switch from quality to, yeah, let's say balanced. So here I'm above the 60 FPS mark. And yes, feels a little bit smoother here. So we are in an area which is like dumping a lot of FPS. There is a lot of effects there. But I'm running at 186 FPS, 90 FPS. And if I really want to max out everything and run at 270 Hz, you know what I have to do? I have to use the upscaler, go a little bit higher. And we're gonna do it for you guys. I'm gonna go perf. And here, on paper, I should have more. Okay, so 66, 67 FPS, 70 FPS. Not bad. But like running the game, 1440p, this amount of like FPS, my only like way of doing it would be to get like a Series 5, a 1590, to be able to run with a multiply by 3 multiplicator on the frame gen. It is pretty sweet. It is actually pretty sweet, so it's super smooth. On my screen, it's super smooth. Okay, last one, because this one is a game that I kind of really enjoy those days. It's Star Wars Battlefront 2. And if you knew and played this game, you will know that there is a FPS lock at 200 FPS. So here what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put the multiplier by 2 here and see what type of input lag we get within the game. So it's funny because right off the bat, my Steam overlay disappears at the top there. And here I'm locked at 270. Normally I can't be locked at more than 200 FPS. So we're gonna go into single player mode. I don't know, I'm gonna guess like arcade, battle scenario, dark side, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, like this guy. Okay, let's go, play. Here we go. And I'm telling you now, the really funny part is like in this game, because the base FPS is like so high, you can barely feel the input lag. You don't feel it. Where are the bad guys? But I'm running the game at 270. Oh, how do I get those guys? 270 FPS. Like it's just unlocked out of the box. Alright, so now you have a better understanding, I hope, of what lossless scaling frame generation is on Linux. I think this is just awesome. Like let's be honest, I think this is awesome. There is still like specific case scenario where I would not use it. Especially like anything related to competitive game where you need like really fast type of like reaction, where your input lag is really important when you use a mouse and keyboard type of scenario. But I have to say that even though in the future, let's say you get a monitor which is like, let's do something crazy like 600 Hz, because those guys, they're gonna arrive, right? At a certain point, we're gonna have like crazy refresh rate. And I'm not sure like you're gonna be willing to spend another like, I don't know, like 3 or 4K to get this 60 or 70, 90 to push the 60 FPS every second, right? And there, I think it would make sense. It would make sense because you would have, for example, like a base of 300 FPS and you will just double that. And so the input lag on 300 FPS, it's fine. You will be fine. It wouldn't be as good as it was like without it, obviously. But I see some case scenario in the future where this could make a lot of sense. Now, if you have a base frame rate which is super low, adding this type of application on top of it is not going to help, because you need to understand that your input lag is going to be based on your base FPS there. And also, what I need to say that too, let's say like without the application, you are running at 60 FPS top. When you add the application on top of it, you're going to lose performance, right? You're going to lose like a little bit of like base FPS. So let's say you're at 60, now you're at 50. Well, the difference in terms of input lag between 60 and 50 is pretty big. So you want to have like margins there. So as I showed you in the video earlier, you could counter that by adding like the native like upscale within the games that support it. So let's say like CYBERPUNK, you would use like DLSS, like performance, for example, to have like a better uplift in terms of FPS base. And on top of that, you will add the lossless application, right? Like that your base is a little bit higher. I know it's a little bit confusing, but when you're gonna understand it, it's actually pretty sweet. I would say like all the game where you can have like more than 60 FPS and you are using a gamepad, it's gonna be fine. Like the input lag, it's gonna be more than fine. For me, it's a win. I see it as a big win, like a game like Shredders. I can tell the difference. With a free time frame generation with my gamepad, it's exactly the same. Now, I mentioned like multiple time game scope. I think there is also a real value added if you have, for example, like a multiple screen type of scenario. I didn't have the opportunity to test that yet, but this is one of my projects. I'm thinking about a game like Dirt Rally 2, right? Here I have like 3 270 Hz monitor. So I'm like, imagine if I run the game through GameScope on my free monitor, and on top of that, I had lossless scaling, I would have the best experience ever, because even my 4090 right now can generate 270 FPS on free monitor. I think I'm stuck at like 130 FPS, which is just perfect for me, right? I will go with a frame generation by 2 or even by 3 and run the game on my free monitor at 270 FPS. Like it will be like crazy smooth. So yeah, you see, like it's really specific case scenario, but when you start to dig into it, you're like, whoa, this is awesome. The last one I want to mention is related to the Steam Deck. I think there is also some game on the Steam Deck where you could lower your original like frames. Let's say like move from 90 to 45 FPS and add the frame generation on top of it. You will lose certainly a little bit of input lag, but your experience on the screen will be way smoother because you will always be at 90 FPS. And on top of that, you will also save some battery life. I was thinking about this really hard. I was like, yeah, this could be pretty significant. Maybe moving from like 4 hours to 6 hour battery life. It's 2 hours more. This is, as we say in French, le nerf de la guerre, like the really important thing when it comes to gaming on those devices, the battery life. If you can get like 30%, 25% of extra battery life, I will take it. So yes, I think it's really promising. I know the dev has been working really hard, like she's really into it. I've seen a lot of like update. So yes, that's really promising. Guys, I hope you enjoy the content. I hope you enjoy the video. Please give a comment, a thumbs up. I really count on you. I want this video like to go through the roof. And yes, all the members of La Crème de la Crème Club, you guys are the best. Thank you very much for your support on both YouTube membership and Patreon and all the PayPal donation. You guys are insane. Thank you again and again. And as always, have a great rest of your day and see you in the next one. Bisous, bisous.